You've made it through the holidays or the rush to get to the holidays, hopefully. But we're still having a few things that we need to do come the end of December. So in this short little to-do list, I'm going to go over a couple of the questions that I get regularly that you guys can focus on between Christmas and New Year to get ready for 2019. The first thing I want to talk about is what reports to pull. I know that there's a lot of different reports that are an option for our different softwares. So the ones that I suggest that you for sure pull and start to analyze for this year compared to last year, and then also setting goals for next year, which are adjustments. So, you know, how much adjustments you have, how much you have ending in accounts receivable, number of patients you've seen this year, of course, production versus collections, and then your collections ratio. And again, if you don't know these reports, don't know these numbers, I highly suggest you get with somebody to get some help to know what you're looking at. Also, potentially look at a company like Dental Intel, who can help you compare this year to last year, this month to last month. Many times the reports in our software aren't as clear as we need them to be. But this is the beginning steps of what reports you need to be looking at. The next is the insurance company productivity report. And again, every software probably names it something different, but the idea here is to look at how much production you're getting from each company, each insurance company, and get it before you run the end of the year. So get it for 2018 before you close out the year and move into the next year. You also want to look at your service code productivity and your patient analysis report, or any reports that give you what are your number one codes, or the top 10, 15, or 20 codes you do in your office. What are your top producing insurance companies? Which insurance companies potentially, if you're in network for, could you drop without it being a big issue? And then where are your patients coming from? Is there a certain demographic? Is there a certain location? Like, analyze your patient report to see what's working for your practice and where you should be spending your money in marketing and referrals, and analyzing how you're doing at the new patients coming in and case acceptance. On Front Office Rocks, we have two software report outlines for the software, one for Eaglesoft and one for Dentrix. If you're an Eaglesoft user, one place I would recommend that you go on Facebook is to Andre Sheridan's Eaglesoft Field Guide. He talks a lot about Eaglesoft, but I've outlined the reports and what they mean and how to get them out of Eaglesoft. And then with Dana Johnson is my Dentrix go-to with Navoni, and she's given us an outline also of how to get these reports out of Dentrix. When it comes to actually processing the end of year with your software, I'm not a software guru. I'm not going to go in here and go into depth of what you need to do, but each one of the softwares have the list online. They tell you exactly what you need to do step by step, all the considerations that you need to think of before you close out the end of the year. So I went on and searched Eaglesoft, Dentrix, and Open Dental and found websites that will help you with this. So make sure you read these before you process end of year, because once the end of year is processed, you can't go back and do it again. So you want to make sure that you're doing the steps the way they're supposed to be done. The next thing I want to talk about is 2018 is coming to an end, 2019 starting, and it's a great time to sort of clean house, clean the office up. You know, like a New Year's resolution. We're starting fresh in January, and I mean, I'm telling you now, you're going to come in on January 2nd or 3rd, and before you know it, it's going to be the middle of February. So take some time now to plan how you want to clean the office up. Now, one of the big things that I get questions about all the time, and you go on any social media group, it gets brought up, is how long do we need to keep patient files? And there's not one set answer. I went on and looked, and I found, you know, for a minimum of 5 years, you need to keep their dental records. I've also seen that you need 2 years or 6 years. So you want to determine based off of your, you know, reading on the internet with the ADA, reading with your state laws and your insurance carriers, how long you want to keep records for your patients. That being said, you want to clean out whatever you have that's kind of bogging down your files, your front desk, your file drawers. So what I suggest is minimally get storage boxes like this, go to Staples over the weekend or Office Depot, and then clearly put on the boxes, you know, what's in there. Are they EOBs? Are they old bills? Are they patient whatever? And then date them and put them somewhere so that you don't have all of this paper burying you when it comes to the front desk. This is a great time to be able to go in and clean a lot of this stuff up. The other thing I highly recommend is checking your backup. We did a webinar with DDS Rescue about HIPAA. We also talked about the importance of your backup and your server. So if you haven't watched that webinar, watch that webinar. We have it on YouTube and also on Front Office Rocks. But many times dental offices feel that if they're scanning in their patient information and then they have a backup going, that they're going to be protected. But what I have heard about and found in a lot of cases is the backups aren't working. When the server actually crashes and we need to go to the backup to get the database, we find out that it hasn't backed up for 3 or 4 months or 6 months. So 2019 is a great time to have your software, work with your IT company or your software company, and do what if my server crashed? Where can we see that the backup's working? Because many times it looks like it's working, but when you actually go verify, it isn't working. So talk with your doctor, talk with your IT company, and double check, especially if you're paperless and everything's housed in your practice management software and on your server, that your backup is working correctly. Next is take a step back and just kind of look at your space. Again, patients judge us on how they feel when they come in the office, not necessarily our dentistry. And over time, we tend to get very cluttered. We tend to have paper everywhere and sticky notes everywhere, and we don't realize how it looks. This is a great time to go through your file drawers. Like I said, get out the old bills and statements and get them into a file box and stick them in the storage cabinet in the back of the building, or put them in your attic. Clean your desks off. Clean up all of the things that you've had posted on the walls that you haven't looked at in 6 months. If I were to walk into a dental office and let's say this is the desk on the right of the insurance person or the financial coordinator, and I'm a patient, no matter what you say to me, if you're sitting at this desk, I'm going to second guess potentially if you know what you're talking about. Now, I'm sure your desk isn't this bad. This was kind of, for humor, but recognize how patients judge us and what they think when they're talking to us. And if it looks like you're just bombarded, they may come to the assumption that you don't know what you're talking about or you're overwhelmed. So this is a great time to clean out, your front office, clean out your operatories, look at what it looks like from a patient perspective when it comes in, and start 2019 on the right foot. Leading into 2019, I hope everybody has an amazing new year, and I can't wait to work with you throughout the next year in 2019. Make sure that you, again, look at, we're about to close down for the holiday weekend, or maybe you just got back from the holiday weekend and you're only open a few more days in December. It's going to be crazy. We're going to get a lot of emergencies calling in. We're going to have a lot of issues to deal with. And before you know it, it's December 31st, we're closed, and we walk back in the door in January and we're running again. So look into January, figure out how many days you're open. Make sure you know your goals for January. Decide when you're going to confirm patients. If you're closed for long weekends, confirming a patient 5 days out potentially might not be great because some patients forget as we know it. So maybe somebody comes in for an hour or two on the 31st to start confirming patients on the 2nd. Determine what you need to do and who's going to do what to make sure when you walk in the door January 2nd, 2019, you guys are ready to go and ready to have an amazing year. I've done other webinars on this. We've also had some social media videos on this about things you should be talking about with your doctor for the next year. Things that you should be talking about are fee increases. How are you going to do it? Are you going to do it at the end of the year? Well, how much are you going to increase your fees? Are you going to drop any insurance plans? Again, that's where you go back to the reports and you see how much are you working with the insurances? How many patients have each insurance? Does it make sense to drop the plans? Discuss your goals. Compare how many new patients you saw, your production per visit. Do you want to increase that this year? This is the perfect time to start setting your goals for next year. And again, we have other videos on this. We can help you. My team is here. So if you go to the live chat on Front Office Rocks, we can get you the resources you need to get your office going in the right direction. And again, lastly, Front Office Rocks is here for you. We're going into our 6th year. We want to be a resource for you and your dental team. We have both live events and online training. And you can reach out to us with the chat function or ask Laura, which will connect you to me and my team to help you with finding whatever resource you need, whatever questions you have. We're here to be the resource for you. And there's a great search function on the top right of the website where you can search the entire website for whatever you're looking for. So again, we are here for you. We're excited to be working with you. We hope you all have an amazing new year. You get everything done that you need to.